Focus on Jesus and not your weakness. John 16:33, King James Version. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. The truth is that we are all limited. No one does not have a limit or a weakness. If we are familiar with comic books, a popular character we call Superman has his weakness. He has many powers. He could lift anything. He cannot be killed with guns and other weapons. He is very powerful, but he cannot go near green kryptonite because it will weaken him. And the truth is that we all have situations that come up in our lives that are our kryptonite. Situations that it doesn't matter how powerful or intelligent one is. There are times when your weakness will come into play. There are times your hands will be tied down and you will not be able to do anything. I mean, you could walk with an S on your chest. Your name could be the Man of Steel. But there are situations and there are seasons in life that just takes all your strength away. There are times when tears will flow from your eyes. There are times you will be beaten down by some challenges. It is not a sin to have weaknesses. It is not a sin for you to not be able to handle some things, but it will be a problem for you if you are putting all your energy into that weakness and focusing on it. The message for you today is that it doesn't matter how great your weakness is. It doesn't matter how much your weakness is affecting you. Jesus is always there to help you through. Focus on Jesus and not your weakness. Jesus knew that human beings have weaknesses. He knew we are all limited to what we can endure, and that is why he told his disciples not to worry. He told them about the peace he could give them, even in their weakness. This is why we need to focus on Jesus. There is something we need to know about weaknesses. Our weakness is very powerful, but you are the only one who has the power to decide if you want it to be powerful or not. When you pay too much attention to your weakness, it means you are feeding it. When you focus on something more powerful than your weakness, then you are taking power away from your weakness. What Jesus will now do for you is that he will give you strength. Are you focusing on your weakness? Are you feeding it or making it bigger than Christ in your heart? Many people worship their weakness, and it keeps consuming them. They say to people that they don't have the power to do a particular thing because of their weakness. If you are like this, you are focusing on your weakness, and you are feeding it. What you should be saying is not, "I can't do it," but you should be saying you can do it. Philippians 4:13, King James Version, I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. This is what you should be saying. This is what you should let your weakness know about you. Focus on Christ. Stop glorifying your weakness. Who are you trusting now? Who are you making your focal point? Who is at the center of your challenges? Who are you trusting to help you through your weakness? Psalm 20:7-8. Some trust in chariots, and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. They are brought down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. We all know Paul to be an apostle of Christ who preached the gospel relentlessly. We all want to be like Paul. Paul did all he could do not to sin against God. He tried all he could to remain faithful and remain strong, but Paul has his weaknesses too. What did Paul do concerning his weakness? 2 Corinthians 12:7-8. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. What did Jesus say to Paul? Verse 9 says, And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Paul found grace in the sight of the Lord. He focused on Christ. He was not okay with the thorn in his life, which also could be his weakness. He focused on this thorn at first, and then he stopped focusing on it, and then prayed to Jesus. Jesus made it clear to him that there is something greater than that weakness. There is something that can cancel that weakness, and that is the grace of God. Why are you wasting your time focusing on that same weakness? Why are you troubled because of that weakness? Jesus is telling you today to focus on Him and receive that grace that is greater than your weakness. Paul said that his strength was made perfect in his weakness. This means that not even his weakness can stop him from whatever he wants to do. The Lord is telling you today to stop focusing on that weakness. There will be storms in your life. There will be times you will wish you gave up, but Jesus is telling you not to focus on those things. He wants you to focus on Him who has the power to make things go perfect. If you make Jesus the source of your strength, your weakness will become your strength. Why would you allow the devil to shift your focus from God to your weakness? A captain that is afraid of the storm will never sail.
Our unbelief comes from a lack of trust, which comes from the lack of God's Word living inside of us. We need to be filled with knowledge about Him, who He is, and what He can do. We need to get acquainted with His nature, and this can only come as we spend time with His Word. It is impossible for us to believe in a God we do not know. It is through His Word that we can get familiar with Him and the wondrous things He has done in the past. He is the God of all flesh, the one who created every living thing, everything beneath and above the earth, every living person, and every one person who has walked the face of the planet was created by Him. Every bird of the air and the fish of the sea was all created by Him. He has control over the universe because He made it. It is not possible that a potter will be unable to control what he molded. This is the case with God. Nothing that exists today exists without Him. Every created thing must submit to the Lord. Within the power of humans, there are limitations, but whenever God is involved, limitations are eliminated. Everything and anything at all is possible. The very nature of God is unlimited. Everything that sums up the Father has no end, and His power is also like that. Luke 1:37 says, "For nothing will be impossible with God." As long as God is in your journey, be rest assured that all things are possible to you. It is only in the realm of humanity that we can be limited. God is not limited. All you need is to believe. Let your mind open up and imagine things beyond human capacity. Do not restrict the Father. Did He not part the waters and the children of Israel walked on dry land? Did He not supply manna to His children? Did He not guide them with a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night? Did Sarah not bear a child in her old age, even though she didn't believe it? Did God not hear Hannah's cry? Above all, did He not raise Jesus Christ from the dead? So tell me, what can He not do? Matthew 19:2. But Jesus looked at them and said, "With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." Have faith in God. We grossly underestimate the importance of faith to God. Abraham believed God so much that it was imputed to him for righteousness. In your situation today, do you believe in God? Do you believe that God can do it for you? Do you?
You must not be afraid of the storm. God has promised you that He will be with you even in the storm. If God can make this promise to you, you should never be afraid of anything. God said in Isaiah 43:2, King James Version, "When thou passeth through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee." God is telling you the same thing today. You must open your mind to Him. What is your weakness now? Is your weakness fear? You are always afraid of moving forward. You are afraid of failure. You don't know how to rise when you are beaten down. Is your weakness a life challenge? Everyone will be faced with one challenge or another. That is the truth about life. If your focus is too much on these challenges, you will always want to find a way to overcome them yourself. How many challenges can you fight with your power that you will not be exhausted? Is it not possible that you will not get tired and they will keep coming? The best thing for you to do is to focus on Christ because He has the power to help you overcome all challenges. He said that you should not worry because He has already overcome the world and He will give you the victory that you want. Victory is sweet when you get it, and you can only get it through Christ.